Hi, Facebook and YouTube. Thank you for joining me this evening. Ah, as you can tell, it gets pretty dark here early now. So as we're waiting for my guests to join tonight, I have Lisa Berry and Tomás Garcia joining. So while we wait, I will just go through some upcoming events in the Weekly Wand. So we have Two Brown Dogs Bistro and Catering. I'm there on Thursdays reading. This Thursday, I will be there from 4 to 6 p.m. And then for the rest of the Thursdays until the end of the year, I will be there actually from 3:30 until 5:30. So that's at 11812 86th Street Northwest here in Edmonton. And Clarity, Sacred Soundscapes with Chris, October 16th is passed. So October 30th at 7:30. And then we have Howlin' at Hollow's poetry reading tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. And we have Meditation on Life on White on October 25th at 5:30 p.m. as well. And then the original Edmonton Witches Market, Samhain Market, Friday, October 23rd from 7 to 11 p.m. and Saturday, October 24th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. or from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Royal Canadian Legion Kingsway chapter. So those are the upcoming events. And I see that Tomás is here. So we're going to add him to the stream. Hi, Tomás. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Yes, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
That's wonderful. So while we wait for Lisa, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right. Well, has the broadcast started? Are we live?
We are live.
Oh, I love it. We're live. All right.
Yes.
Well, thank you all for tuning in. My name is Tomás Garza, and I'm an international self-mastery show host and producer. I'm the host of the podcast Decide to Transform, and Lisa and I are both on the Council of the International Academy of Universal Self-Mastery, and there she is right there. All right.
Hello. So carry on, Tomás. Tell us about yourself.
All right. Well, I am turning 49 years old today.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, that's the very basics. Actually, no, I'm a meditation instructor. I've had a meditation practice for 35 years, and I'm involved in the podcasting arena as the host of the radio show podcast Decide to Transform on Podbean. And I love teaching and working with spiritual themed and transformational themed subjects. So I'm excited to be here tonight.
That's wonderful. I'm excited to have you. Thank you for joining us, Lisa.
And cheers with my tea for the universe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's a fun mug.
It is. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Cat lover, cat mom right here, and super happy, exuberant, loving life person. And that's why I love interviewing people myself, because that's what you're doing here. I have a show called Light on Living, and I interview authors. And Tomás and I work together as well as being friends. We're colleagues, and we're happy that we get to head up the media department for iAwesome. And there we get to help other people have podcasts and shows. And the whole purpose of that is that we believe that people, when they want to express something or hear something, like what we're doing today with Messages from the Universe, that it's important to be able to have an outlet to do that and to attract your people and share and keep spreading that.
That's wonderful and lovely. And again, thank you both for joining me. So tell me more about iAwesome.
All right. Well, it's relatively new. iAwesome came into being this spring, in fact, and was originally called something else. It's called the University of Self-Mastery, and we've changed the name due to accreditation issues all over the world. But it is an online global learning community where people can come together and interact with each other and learn from each other. And we offer courses in all kinds of subjects related to personal growth, spirituality, transformation. We have business courses, and we have physical health and fitness courses, and a number of other offerings. So it's a beautiful platform. We have over 150 faculty members right now, and we haven't even launched yet.
That's wonderful.
My favorite part about IOSM too, and thank you, Tomás, for naming all those. I don't think I would have remembered all those. I'm remembering stuff like, Gaia's medicine and face yoga, and all these
Those are fun though, right?
I would have forgot all those other good ones. Thanks. I love that it's the online platform for learning because it's a community, and this way we get to be interactive. And I know, oh my gosh, Tomás gets to hear me all the time. I'm forever messaging him, how do you do this? And where can you do this? And can you listen to me process this? It's nice to have somebody else that you're not alone trying to learn something and self-master.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a gateway, right? It brings so many people together. So many people that don't get traditional education or traditional medicine, or people that feel alone or feel like they have nowhere to go. This is an outlet for them. It invites them in. It gives them a place to go where they feel like they have family and people that understand and people they can connect with.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, I love
that.
It really is. And that's actually one of the largest parts about this for me, is that it's a community and people are coming together and doing things together. And a lot of us have been solo entrepreneurs for a long period of time. So it's really nice to be able to join forces with a group of like-minded people. It's really fun.
Well, absolutely. And I feel, and this is just my opinion, of course, with the current situation, the current world situation, this allows people to still have an outlet and get together through an online, this has been the awakening. The awakening has been happening for so long. And I feel that right now is the perfect time for this kind of schooling, this place for people to gather, community to come together. I feel that it is very much needed.
Mm-hmm.
What thing about, I love that you just mentioned about the world, because Tomás speaks 3 languages. And so he's been able to, interview in Spanish and French and English. And then we have people from Australia. And it allows us to say, we can all connect somehow, some way. There's going to be somebody to be able to translate or converse or help, and that's just language. But then we have all the other beautiful languages that just how we connect. Some people connect on more of a very a visual, and some people are audio, like just all these different ways. And I love that you said that it is a world thing right now. It
is like energy. It's an energetic connection, right? So it's just wonderful. I think it's lovely.
Well, thank you for having us here to discuss this. I have to ask something. Now I'm going to go and host for a second, but tea with the universe, like, my gosh, were you just having tea one day and just chatting away with universe and went, this needs to be a show?
Not quite, but I do a lot of astral traveling. So I go out into the universe, and the best way for me to explain it or describe it to you would be sitting on kind of a grassy knoll in lawn chairs with the universe and sipping tea and discussing future and past and current events.
Wow.
So I had a girlfriend over one day, and as she was going out the door, she said, "So what are you going to do this afternoon?" And I said, "I don't know, probably just have tea with the universe." And she flung around and she said, "What?" And I guess that was the first time I'd ever really said it out loud. So he said, this is big. You need to do something with that. And that's when it was born.
All right.
Yeah. Astro traveling, actually something that we've just been talking about, and I've just been learning about it. Maybe I've done it before. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't, but it's new to me. And now I want to explore. I want to learn more about it. And that's an interesting thing. When you go and have tea, or when Tomás, if you're out there having tea with the universe, are we traveling to explore like we travel on this earth, or are we traveling to ask secrets, futures, pasts, unveil things?
Well, that kind of delves into the Akashic records as well. So I think with astral traveling, it depends on the person. because I've spoken to other people who have gone journeying, astral traveling, and they have amazing, incredible stories, and they're nothing like mine. And then I've spoken to other people that say, hey, I think I've sat on that knoll.
Oh,
So, it varies, and each story has its own unique twist, and it's juice, and it's just, they're so different, and it depends on what you remember. I believe we all do it, we just don't all remember it.
Yeah.
So
Right. I remember the first time I ever did it, I was patting my dog at the end of the couch, so it was very ordinary.
Yeah, sometimes it is.
Yes, and when I woke up, there she was, right there at the end of the couch, wagging her tail. So there you go.
And for me, I didn't remember that, and that's where, the whole have you ever remembered something you didn't know you forgot came from. Because I remembered astral traveling. I sat up in bed about 5 years ago and said, oh my God, I remember.
Yeah.
And I remembered so many trips and so many journeys, and being able to do it at such a young age, like 6, 7, 8 years old, and it all came flooding back. But for some reason, I had blocked it all out and forgot about it. And then, I could go on and on and on. This is like this isn't about me.
I got excited.
Here we are. We're both show hosts, so we're asking questions. Yeah.
But you know what? I guess we can make it about us, right? And where we discuss it. Oh, like I said, it's an organic conversation, and usually the viewers that tune in need to hear or want to hear what we're talking about. So, I mean, share more of your astral traveling, Tomás. I love to hear about other people's journeying.
Okay. Well, the first time, the experience that I was just talking about when I was patting my dog was in the 1990s. And I knew what it was, so I wasn't very freaked out at all. It was as though it wasn't new. So I'll say that, even though that was the first time in this lifetime that I've been conscious of doing it. And that started just a real, I guess, a string of experiences that lasted for several years, and all kinds of different experiences, visiting people that have passed, visiting people that have not passed, and that are still alive right on this timeline, in this world currently, and all kinds of things. And then I didn't have the experience for a while. And then it came back, and it's just kind of come and gone. And when I remember doing it, it's always a lot of fun. It's always with a sense of fun, and it's never anything, for me, others may have a different experience, but it's never been scary for me at all.
So when you're about to take off, do you have the elastic feeling? Do you have the feeling that everything kind of, the neutrons and the protons all separate, and it's like completely...
Yeah, it's different every time. Right now, there's a lot of that going on right now in the last year. Exactly. I mean, there's a lot of this going on in a lot of different ways, and I don't experience the same kind of feeling of separation. But initially, I would feel a tugging in my lower back. As though a cord or a rope were trying to unwind, and sometimes it would get kinked, and there would be some actual physical pain involved, and other times not. It was just very smooth, and eventually it just became smooth, and now it just sort of happens. Recently, it's just sort of happened. But that was the initial physical sensation, was that rope unwinding. Yeah.
Can you control it at all, or does it just happen entirely on its own?
Well, what I can do right now, which is very interesting, is replicate some of the experiences in waking life that happen on their own. And this is almost always between 3 and 5 in the morning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the time.
That's the time.
And you've got an experienced meditator here, so he not only teaches this, so you have that. I wonder if people who have a practice, like a daily practice, who goes into meditation, does this with a bit more, like what you said. Can you press a button and do it or not do it. I wonder if we have, mastered it. There's that mastery word a little bit.
Yeah.
You said something so interesting because when you said about a rubber band elastic and then molecules, and the way you said that is, I only have one friend in the whole world, my whole life, that I've ever. She kind of knows what I was saying, and I was almost like floored because I can't even explain it. And I was trying to say, have you ever had this feeling like you get so little that you're almost nothing, like the eye of a needle, but yet you feel as powerful as the universe? And I couldn't really explain it. And she's like, I know exactly what you're feeling, and we still couldn't. There's no words. And I was like, okay, I'm freaking out because I thought that was just like a weird, maybe I was fainting, maybe, or something, because I didn't know what that was. I just thought that was a thing, because for me, if I was to say astral travel or go or do, just be elsewhere, it's always, it's like in the middle of the night kind of thing, like the later part of the night. Why is that? Why?
And I mean, there's the thinning of the veil, and every hour of every day, it opens different portals within the multiverse. So the traveling portal, if you're new, or if there's calling and stuff, it's between 2 and 4 in the morning. It can go after 4 in the later part of 2, but a lot of traveling, a lot of messages from the universe come at that time. So it's good to have a pen and paper. I'm very lazy, and when I'm asleep, I don't want to write down. And I kick myself in the butt almost every morning because I wake up and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I'll remember that.
Yeah. Yes.
So, I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. So my cat Brinks, who will be vocal, I'm sure, in a little bit, he wakes me up every morning at 4 to eat. And so I'm actually I'm trained. He did a really good job at this, and I just feed him there. But so it's usually just after. Could we get delayed? Is our train delayed for astral traveling if we have to get up and pee, if we have an animal that's like is that interfering with our spiritual journey?
Not necessarily. That could be a message waking you up. You need to do something. Like, I don't believe in interferences. I believe in obstacles. Okay. And that's your choice to whether you want to face that obstacle or if you want to, we have choices. There are paths we can go around. But interferences, no. And yes, Debbie, you're absolutely right. 2:30 to 3:30. And Brian, he's my boyfriend. He says he knows I go out into the universe, but he would like to know, where do you go, Tomás? Is it out into the universe as well?
Yes, and sometimes specific places. Sometimes out into the universe. Sometimes I'm aware that it's a different timeline, different time frame. That's relatively rare. Usually, it is someplace else, concrete places. Yeah.
So in this realm, in this physical.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes. Almost
That's
always.
So cool.
Almost always, but not. Sometimes it's floating in space, and but mostly in this realm.
Yeah. See, I can only go in this realm if there is a reason to go. For example, my daughter was in Thailand and got really, really sick, and of course didn't get health insurance.
Okay. Yeah.
So my cat and I, speaking of cats, had to go there astral traveling to actually physically, heal her. And when I came back, I was so sick. It was unreal. And when I went to the hospital, the lady checking me in actually said, have you left the country? Do you have dengue fever? And I said, no, I haven't. I'm just, I don't know what's wrong.
Oh,
but yeah. So, and outside of that, I travel into other dimensions, other universes, multiverses, things that I have no words to explain in this language. I would love to figure out how to touch people and give them the ability to feel what I feel and see what I see. That's my next accomplishment, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Do we think that maybe that's why we're having so many of these online academies, universities, online? Is it a way of at least wrapping our minds around an energetic unseen place where we know
Yes.
this. I wonder if this is school, just like how we're having this lovely tea right now is
Yeah.
probably not.
Waking up, another part of what's asleep.
Right, yeah, because we even have sleep on the computers. Would you like to sleep or shut down or restart?
No, Debbie, I didn't have dengue. I don't think. I'm not sure. Brian would like to know if when you traverse, Tomás, is it a different timeline? Is it past or future?
Sometimes. It sometimes is. It's sometimes distant past. The future, I think, is more rare. I'm not aware of too many of those experiences. Usually it's present. And it's interesting because I'm often in more than one place. I'm conscious that I'm here in Arizona, in the next room over here, sleeping, and then I'm elsewhere in this realm, in this physical realm, in other places, sometimes 2 or 3 places at once. But it's generally I would say 90% of the time, present timeline.
I have a question for you, since you've just awoken something in me. And Brian, I hope you're listening. So when you are in more than one place at the same time, do you find conversations overlap and you may say something here that happens someplace else and perhaps get upset with somebody you're having a conversation with for them maybe not keeping up with the conversation, but they tell you you've never had that conversation before? I think that makes sense.
It does make sense. I don't actually experience that. When I'm aware of having conversations, sometimes up to 3 hours, and sometimes I'm aware that in real time, in this timeline, not real time, but what we call real time, that it's been a lengthy conversation, and there's very little upset in these at all. In fact, there's none. There hasn't been any.
That's nice. For me, I guess I have breaks in the matrix. I'm not sure, where this will happen and then 5 minutes later it'll happen again. However, for the other person involved, it hasn't happened yet. So I get very confused because we've already had this conversation and I feel as though sometimes I'm repeating myself. So I have to be very, very aware and kind of present at all times.
I wonder if there's a way that you could ask your soul, yourself, your energy, as, could you give me a little tap on the shoulder if this is new or if we've already really been here, like to give you like a little, oh, you're in this one, oh, you're in this one, like a little sign. And I have to share this, because you just reminded me when you said about the fever. When I first believe I started maybe having these little weird things, it all happened at the exact same time. So it's hard to say which came first, chicken and egg here. I lived in a really old house, almost 100 years old. And I was really drawn to it. I was really starting to research it. And as I was researching it and just finding out really, really wow kind of stuff, I got scarlet fever myself, which is exact same timeline of when people got the scarlet fever and everything. And nobody had, who gets scarlet fever? And it was full blown scarlet fever. And then I had the fever and then I was hallucinating. But now I'm like, I think I traveled while hallucinate, right? And so I feel really well that lived in the house and we had so much in common and I loved them. And then for that while that I was really sick, I was having these conversations, but I really felt like I was having dinner, having tea, talking to them, going to, so it was very interesting. So when you talk about, when Brian asked about timelines, for me, when I moved from that house, I actually was really sad thinking, well, I wanted to talk to them and say, well, I'm going to move. Like, will you come visit me? Do I just lose you? Is this a portal? Like, what's going on? and that's one thing I was always feared. Like, do we only travel because we're in a certain, do we have to go to a vortex? Like, Tomás, you live in Arizona. You have so many of those places that people go to.
I know.
Go. But do we have to? Like, can we just in Ontario? Can we just be?
You can be sitting in your chair right now. And if you just, breathe, do that deep breathing and the exercises and the meditation and just go within and you'll start. Do you ever stare at the wall and it just starts to get fuzzy?
Fuzzy, yes.
Yes, carry on with that. That's the beginning. Most people stop at that, or they blink, or they snap themselves out of it. Practice by staring off into space and in the wall and watch it move and sway. And yeah.
That is so neat.
Yeah,
Tomás, you do guided meditation. So do you help people to go through it like that, or?
Well, when I do guided meditations, I never know what the people doing the meditation with me will be experiencing. I may be experiencing the floor melting, which is really cool. But I don't know if they are.
Scary, though.
I don't really know. Or they may be experiencing that, and I'm thinking about tomorrow's lunch. You just never know.
Yeah.
You never know. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. When I do guided meditations for people, a lot of times I'll get messages and they'll tell me how they went somewhere or they left their meat sack. I call this, your meat sack.
Yeah.
This is what you're using to carry your soul, your essence in this time. So a lot of people will say, I got dizzy, or I felt this, or I felt that. And I like it because I always encourage them, do it on your own.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's easy to see without any context, somebody might get freaked out about the wall getting fuzzy or something like that, because we're just not trained, most of us, to that as reality. So when it begins to happen, it can be a little weird, but yeah, I would say the same thing. Just keep sitting through it. Yeah. It's fun.
It's fun. And sometimes you'll get dizzy, and other times there's so many different things. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on and on, because it's so much fun and so interesting, and listening to other people share stories, and then it triggers something in you that you didn't remember. For example, with you, Lisa, 2 things have been triggered just in this conversation. So it's nice to hear other people talk about it and to just feel the energy.
There's something about, it's funny that right now in my world, just that question of who am I has been coming up all over the place with the shows that I do. And it's so interesting that we think that we know who we are because of, okay, well, did you set your goals and you have your dreams and you know really the most mundane everyday things. Like for me, it's like, okay, what earrings am I going to wear? Or, did I feed the cat? I always do. But you know what I mean? We just think that's who we are. But those questions, and that's the fun of seeing a melting wall or getting a fuzzy wall. The reason why that is so cool is because it allows us to drop the regular world. It allows us to drop okay, what's on my phone? What's doing this? And just to explore it. Because remember when you're little and you look up at the sky and you see the clouds and you go, ooh, and then there's so much imagination. And that's why I'm thinking, I feel like I'm drawn to it, or other people might be drawn to it, because it's freedom. It's freedom to not have to be or do something. It's just to, I don't know, float and find out who you are, but by being nobody.
And you know what? I think that's what's very, very, very interesting and exciting about your school, because in other school, in conventional school, you're told who to be, how to be, what to be. So that's why at this age, we question who we are. And when we think we're something that other people have told us we're not, we have that internal battle, because there's that inner conflict. Are we this person that they say we are, or are we who we truly feel we are? And with the school, with iAwesome, everyone can come together. There's no judgment. There's nothing. I feel that they can come and be who they are and get what they need and share and be in that community among people who might not experience what they experience, but can journey with them.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes, journey with us. Journey with us. Journey with us. Tomás, the one thing I was going to say is about the iAwesome, because we didn't even know it was going to spell that. Like that was not planned. It was
That's
literally
cool.
named, like as you mentioned in the beginning, Tomás, you said that we were actually a university, wasn't an academy, and that's where the A comes from. So like that needed to happen. That needed to be there to be awesome. But there's like you're right. You go there to journey, and as you're attracted to one course, you pick it. You might have classmates and they might start talking about another course and you're like, wow, that sounds really cool. I want that one. And then you might take it together so that you're, it's like classmates. You're just doing your thing.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and we're adding more and more all the time. So there's more and more for students to choose from. And I've felt really, really great for the students of iAwesome the entire time, because I have the really, really great job, the pleasure of interviewing all the faculty members after they join for a spotlight and interview. So I want to take every single class that we have. There's so much that I didn't even know about. So really there's something for everybody. A lot.
So exciting.
It is exciting. Absolutely.
And yes, Debbie, that is why I traveled back. To take the illness from my daughter. I didn't want her being sick. And Brian, yeah, he can always tell when I'm traveling. Always. And yes, Debbie, travel back. It's healing and amazing. It is. Any kind of traveling like that is just rejuvenating and healing, and it's wonderful.
Hi, Debbie. I would say Debbie's actually originally how I heard about you, so I wanted to say hi, Debbie. She's a lovely people that show. Do you know what, this is really neat when you get to do lives and we get to do them just chatting with people and hearing what they want to hear. And it's your birthday. I had fun actually looking up how a Buddhist celebrates their birthday, because I didn't know if they do not that Tomás is a Buddhist, but I just wanted to find out what a Zen birthday was. And when I did ask in general, Tomás, hey, what are you going to do for your birthday? I swear he said what like a Buddhist does for their birthday. But did you get to do things? What was your favorite part about birthdays? Because I know there's other people who are going to have birthdays today in celebration. And
Yeah, a lot of people. Today it was just being able to relax a little bit more, and some really deep. I had a couple of very deep meditations today, just because I allowed myself more time. So I think that's really it. It was my own will to just relax a little bit more today. And well, we've got plenty of things to do. We've got a launch coming up on the 30th of October for iAwesome. Plenty of work to be done, but it could wait until tomorrow. So I took some time to myself today that was really much needed. So yeah, it was an act of will on my part. It was nice.
Look at that. He's so relaxed he forgot it's the 29th.
Yeah, that's the part. Yeah,
the launch is on the 29th.
Yeah, we officially open our doors on the 30th. But yeah, it's the party. That's true.
The party. Yes.
Oh, tell me about this launch.
The fun party. Yes. Okay. So it's a 2-hour window. So it's like, come in, have a party, and then we get to learn who's self-mastered to what. But really, it's it's my Eastern time, 6:30. Nope, it's not. My 8:30 to 10:30. So I kind of get all my zones right. So Eastern time is just 8:30 to 10:30. So that's what we'll do. Otherwise, I'll mess it up. And it's really fun. We're going to do it on a Zoom, so the gallery, so everybody can see everybody, and everybody's going to be sharing, of course, what they self-mastered. And we'll have speakers, and we get to talk about the classes. They'll be able to meet some of the faculty. We're having the faculty teachers come on and just for about what would we say, Tomás? Like I think 3 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They'll share what not just what they're teaching, but this is what I love the most about us too, is that we don't just say what we're teaching, but we're saying why the teacher is teaching it. Why is it important to the teacher to do this? How did it change their life? And what can a student expect it to like do in their life? You know what I mean? Like something that it's not just, here I am, I've got these credits and, credentials, and this is my title, but this is what I'm passionate about. And so if you're drawn to this, then come here. So it's a great opportunity at the party to have, some prizes and some celebration things and just those kind of natural fun party things, but to really see the excitement in somebody else and all the teachers and the councils and meet them and hear what's what we're celebrating. We're celebrating self-mastery because we all know what we've self-mastered and what that has done and how that has enriched our lives. That's a weird party explanation, but that's mine.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think it's a great party explanation because it is about self-mastery. And Lisa, you said it. It's about the passion for the faculty, and that's just a question that we always want to know. So, why are they passionate about what they're teaching? And that's something that we really encourage. And it's a platform that encourages people to show up and teach because they love it.
Well, and you know what? It's an opportunity to let go of who people think you are and actually show them who you truly are.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think it's wonderful.
See, you said that so beautiful. It was just, there you go. Let go of who people think you are and show them who you truly are. I love that. That's so from the heart.
It is, and it's just so true. And we think things. Or we don't. We know things, but we don't think about them. And then you hear someone say something and you're like, that just makes perfect sense. It's that simple. I just had to hear someone else say it out loud. Yes. And it happens all the time. Hi, Tanya. Thanks for joining us. So, yeah, I love chatting.
Chatting.
Tomás always gets the everybody thinks he's so quiet and reserved, but really, first of all, he's probably traveling somewhere else while he's there. But mostly, we get off and we chat away. I think that's the fun thing is about friends and making friends. Like when we all just met, they were like, "Hey, hi, I'm Cynthia. Hi, I'm Lisa," and then boom, we just start chatting. And I think that's such a thing is we can open our hearts like that and drop all those. Well, you're doing this and you're that, but I'm like this, and oh, you like that and I don't. It's just that there's so many things that we can connect on that really can, and then I'm gonna use that word again, enhance each other's lives and our experience. It's the experience that we're looking to really expand on and not be here. I know it's comfortable though, right? We're comfortable when we're here and we think by expanding, it's going to be, but it's actually exciting. It's exciting when you can expand, and when you can do it with other people, it's even better.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think expansion is that's a great word because it's all about expanding and extending, and the opposite of that is not growth at all, and it's not fun. So fun is an important piece of the equation as well. Yeah.
This is awesome.
I have a thing I was going to ask us because I learned so much, and this is, remember we just talked about how somebody can say something in such a simple way and you're like, what? Oh my gosh. About meditation, I used to hold that belief. It's funny because my niece even just said it the other day. I can't meditate, it's too hard to stay still for so long. And I get, and some people even say, they can get angry. It's like beyond agitated. It's frustrated. It's like all these things are going through them and they don't know what to do and they need some distraction. And Tomás, you taught me that, I might say this wrong again, but meditation can be as simple or quick or short as one breath.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I was like, I can do one breath. And so,
yeah.
It can be as simple as a deep breath and putting your and when you're angry, when we do that, when we're angry or stressed, just that one breath takes us, it grounds us. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, and it's the classic counter to the standard excuse of I don't have time. Well, and I've literally asked people, do you have time to take the next breath? And then, what do you mean?
That's a great question.
I've literally asked that of people, but it's really true. And if you just place your awareness on one cycle of breath, that's a successful meditation. One can lead to two. And nobody's saying that you have to sit for 5 to 6 hours a day. And no one's saying you have to move off to Tibet or Nepal and shave your head, take up robes, renounce the world. Not required.
No, and you know what? I have the weekly wand where I do daily affirmations, which allows people to just take that minute or 2 minutes or however long just to repeat that affirmation and do a little meditation in itself.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm having the funniest analogy of this right now. I have to share this. So babies who take their first step and then they take their first step, and what do? Oh, and they celebrate like one step, and like we walk for the rest of our lives. So it's kind of funny. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to celebrate my breath, my step, or my first few breaths or steps, just like I would from a baby first walking. From now on, that's it. I'm going to be in like such joy. You did it. 5 breaths. You did it.
Perfect.
Yes. Yeah,
It's exercising.
it's exciting, and it's easy to do, and it's worth celebrating. Because I think we defeat ourselves with all of these expectations that we're not doing it right, we're doing it wrong, and well, I shouldn't be having any thoughts. Really, try stopping them. How's that working out?
Yeah. And there is no right or wrong. And you're right, Brian. Just recentering yourself, just that one breath can recenter yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then 1 turns into 2 and 3, and next thing you know, it's 2 hours, and
and then you're very relaxed.
And then nothing gets done.
And sometimes that's okay. That's the biggest thing, is giving ourselves permission to. Well, sometimes we can own. Yeah, I don't know where this is coming from. Messages from the universe here. Sometimes we can own that personality that. Well, I have to pick up. I can't leave this around. I can't bear to stand a pair of socks on the floor. I don't know, something like that. But can we? I'm not saying that everybody should change and just leave their laundry all over, but or teacups out. But just that I don't know. Maybe it's a good question. Actually, I want to ask Tomás now, or both of you. What if I'm looking at my teacup right now? So if I just left that, we ended and I left that teacup here, but it did really bother me. Is that okay that it bothers me, or do I need to be okay that it's there? Is there any expectation of that, and how would I have comfort? Does meditation help? I don't know.
Well, my quick answer is really general. Meditation helps everything.
Okay.
And my answer to go with that would be, if the teacup is bothering you being left there, look within and find out why.
Right.
Go within. So again, meditation helps with that, but go within and ask yourself, why is that bothering you?
Right. Are you hearing like your mother's voice saying, do not leave your dishes there? Or are you a slob? Or
yeah, maybe it boils down to some belief repatterning, and going back and delving deeper inside and finding out why there's an issue with the teacup left on the counter or on your desk or on the table.
Right. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And then heal it, and then heal that. Love that part and say, well, thank you for that, being that aspect of me. Does it serve me? Maybe I should take a breath.
Absolutely. Bless and release.
Yes. Oh, bless and release. Bless. That's so fun. I love that. That's like a little aerobic thing. Bless and release. Bless and release.
Yes, Brian, trilotherapy. And of course, I've learned all of this in trilotherapy. So.
Oh, something you could teach at IAWSOM. No.
I do have a diploma.
Oh.
However, I've kind of taken it and made it my own. So.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Good.
We love you.
That's interesting, because I've interviewed several faculty members for IAWSOM that have adapted their own modalities, and they've created their own coaching modalities. They've created their own healing modalities, and they're offshoots of classical training or more traditional training. So it's very interesting. That's interesting that you've made it your own. Yeah.
I have, yeah, with the help of the majority of my training does come from the universe and astral traveling and having tea with the universe, ironically enough. And so, I've often said I don't have the documentation or the paperwork to say that I can do this. However, I can do this. So some people look at that as being more fortunate because they feel that I have more, I don't want to say education, but more experience in it than what comes from the books or from a teacher. But that mix with trilotherapy is pretty good.
I want to say, you know what, I I'm a holistic nutritionist, and back in the day, it was a 2-year course, and since then, the 18 years after that are like I can't even compare. So I really appreciate when anybody says that it's what's funny, it's called continued education, and even with most modalities or of anything, any certification, you take your course, you learn it, and then every year, you keep up with it, you do refreshers. And I remember back in the day too thinking, why would they have to make that mandatory? Wouldn't you just? And because if it's something, passion and stuff, but I see what they're saying. And I think they almost shouldn't, because if they, you'll just, it shows your commitment when you choose to do it on your own to learn more and expand. And I think people feel that, and that's where that passion is. And if I'm coming to you and I can feel that you're so passionate, and you're like, oh, I did this and this, I'm going to I don't care what paper you have. Just wow.
And that's what I get a lot of the time, because I'm just freshly out of the closet. So I've, been sharing my gifts for 2 years this month.
Oh, congratulations.
Okay.
Yeah. So, just freshly out of the closet. However, that's what I get from a lot of people. I can feel it off your energy. I can feel it. I can just see it. So it doesn't matter to me what kind of training you've had or where you've had it. Just share.
Yeah. That's really interesting. It was 2 years ago for you. It was 2 years ago for me that I finally had the urge, the push from the universe to start teaching meditation, and that has led to everything that's happened.
That is interesting.
And I just met Tomás a year ago, so we got halfway in the point.
That's wonderful. So in closing, I would like to invite you both to share something. I'll ask you, have you ever remembered something you didn't know you forgot?
Oh, God, that's a toughie. Hold on here. Go. What can I remember that I forgot?
Well, I'm gonna say yes, and I'm gonna have to think about exactly what that is, because what I can relate to is the feeling of that experience rather than the actual details. The feeling has been quite common for me in this lifetime. Yeah.
And that in itself is remembering something you didn't know you forgot. Mm-hmm. Because once you remember the feeling, you're like, oh, hey, this is familiar. I remember this.
Yeah, I remember quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine has been more of walking. I now, because I shared that I moved more into the country, more into nature. And then I remembered that because as I'm walking in more of the nature and country and looking at a different tree more closely in the bark and thinking, wow, I have a memory about the birch bark, and I have a memory about camp and this. And so it's almost like you are remembering the memories, right? You have the memory of, that's the memory, but then it's more that it's the feeling that you're drawn to. So it's more of the vibration. I guess that's what, So for me, that what I've forgotten that I've remembered is a vibration that is still, I can still tune into. It's a vibration that's still familiar to me. That's my vibration that I experienced, that I had, and it's still here on this earth right now that I've remembered. So it's a vibration memory.
That's beautiful. I like that. That's really nice.
I wouldn't have explored that if you'd not asked. So thank you.
You're welcome. So in closing, before we close, Tomás, I would like to read you. I write horoscopes as well. I call them energy scopes. So I would like to read you your horoscope or energy scope.
All right. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. So Libra, Angel of Contrast. During this time of natural positive transition, your angels invite you to take care of your health. Regular exercise and daily meditation will give you the boost, or will give the body most of what it needs. Embrace the present changes and invite light and clarity into your present moment. Your stone choice is Snowflake Obsidian.
Oh, okay. I love it. Well, thank you. Yes.
Would you like to hear yours as well, Lisa? Okay, but can I freak out first because I am a Libra? And last night, I have a lot of earrings. I looked up, I was looking at the earrings and I picked my mother's snowflake obsidians to look them up. You freaked me out right there.
And it was your birthday yesterday, correct?
When was my birthday? Friday.
Friday. Well, I believe I said happy birthday online. I'm not sure, but happy belated birthday. But that's really cool.
I know. Okay. I should have worn them. No, it's good.
So stay healthy, meditate, and get some snowflake obsidian.
Wow. Yes.
And drink lots of water. I encourage water, everyone.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Cynthia. Thank you, Tomás, for sharing your birthday with us.
Yes, and thank you both for joining me. Before we go, I have to give a shout out to Melissa from Hayward Eclectic for making this wonderful Samhain mix for Tea with the Universe. It's a special blend just for Tea with the Universe. And for my Samhain teacups, which are all packed up because I'm going to a market. But so yes, thank you, Melissa at Hayward Eclectic, for anyone that would like to try her tea.
I'll be trying.
I invite both of you to leave your information, contact information for iAwesome for both of you in the comments. So anyone that is watching or watches in the future can contact and reach out.
Absolutely. Okay.
And I would like to thank you both for joining me, and thank you all of our viewers. I know you could be anywhere, you chose to be here with us, and I am forever grateful. Namaste.
Thank you.
Take care, guys. Thank you so much.
You.
Bye.
Bye-bye.